Hello, my name is Mark Slaney. I am a minister in the Methodist Church in Scotland. Methodists believe that God is for all. All means everyone. Everyone can be known by God, and everyone can know God. I was baptised by a Methodist minister when I was 3 weeks old, and here I am now 53 years old, still learning what it means to follow Jesus. Around about the age of 40, I realised that nobody had intentionally taught me how to pray. Maybe people thought you just pick it up on the way, or that it's a personal matter, or maybe nobody had taught them how to pray too. I went looking for schools of prayer and prayer teachers, amongst them Quakers and Jesuits and Benedictines and Franciscans, who taught me some of the practices of contemplative prayer, of silence, looking, listening. Our theme today is God Speaks, which might lead us to wonder if prayer isn't as much about us learning to listen for God as it is us learning to talk to God. For many of us, God gave us 2 ears and 2 eyes, but only 1 mouth, maybe to teach us and remind us to try and practice twice as much listening and looking as speaking, even when we pray. A rabbi friend of mine and I were studying in the Old Testament, Exodus chapter 3 in the Bible, where Moses encounters the living God. Shepherding in the wilderness, he comes across a bush that is on fire. When he approaches it, he realises that though it's burning, it's not being burnt up. And then he hears his name. And God says, "Take off your shoes, you're on holy ground." And the divine voice goes on to invite him to join with God in liberating an enslaved people. My rabbi friend said something like this. "Mark," he said, "Moses has seen wildfire before, perhaps many times. Usually he'd lead the sheep away from fire. What do you think it was that made him approach it this time? And how long do you imagine he stared into the flames before he realised the bush was not being burnt up?" I invite you to experiment with practicing prayer as deep looking and deep listening, of being prepared to step aside from the daily routines and tasks when you notice someone, something, somewhere, to accept that the ground beneath your feet is sacred, and maybe even to listen for your name on the lips of God. When I start such prayers, I like to breathe in and out 3 times. The names by which God is known in the Christian tradition: Father, Jesus, Spirit. And then, having called myself to attention, I look and I listen and I wait. May the ground be sacred beneath your feet and the world ablaze around you.